Hi, good afternoon. I am live today. We will be talking about a new service from Southeast London ICB. So I'm just waiting for Helen to join us and then we'll start. Hi guys. How are you? Thanks for joining on this impromptu live. Hiya. Thanks, Lamide. You're in. Hi. Okay, perfect. And it's Angela, not Helen. I've got the wrong name in my head. There's too many things going on. So if you could just request, I haven't seen that request come through. I think the request has to come from your side or go live. I've accepted your request. This always happens. I have to accept it a few times. There it is. Hi, apologies. I called you Helen in the beginning, and it's definitely not Helen.
It's Angela, but funnily enough,
apologies.
that's my middle name, so you like it.
Oh, really? Oh,
Exactly.
technically I wasn't wrong. Oh, well, thanks so much for coming on today. Please do let our followers know a little bit about yourself and what you do and what, why we're here on this live today.
So, firstly, can I say delighted to be talking to you. I know how much 5 times more has done in this space already and just the phenomenal work you do. So I'm Angela Helleur. I am the Chief Nurse for South East London Integrated Care Board. So we cover all health and care in South East London. And I'm also I'm a midwife by background, and I am also responsible for the local maternity and neonatal services in London. And I'm really delighted to be here because, you know, maternal mental health is something that's really close to my heart. And I'm aware how disproportionately this affects Black women. You know, like many things, the inequalities that exist for Black people in health. So I'm here, yes, to talk about the new service, but in general, you know, any maternity matters or health in general.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And yes, you're from South London. That's the best place in the whole entire world, if you ask me. I'm born and bred in Southeast London. I've had my 2 kids here. I still live here. And yes, I think it's important that those services are available for people, you know, who look like me as well. So tell us more about this service that you have launched this week, because I know you've launched something new quite recently, haven't you?
In collaboration with South London and the Maudsley, and it's a service particularly for women and birthing people around trauma and loss. So perhaps people who've experienced perinatal, that means around birth, a loss of some sort, either you know, it could be a baby or somebody close, but also you know, either a death of a baby during pregnancy or after pregnancy. And actually right up until the first year of life. So really important, because as I'm sure people can imagine, that's a really traumatic thing to have to go through.
It is, definitely. So it's important that the support is out there.
Exactly, and not suffer on your own. Really important to reach out. And you know, I'm aware again that it's not always obvious that we have these services, and that people can access them, and that they have to be alone in their grief or whatever it is they're going through. So at the moment it's available in Lambeth, Southwark, Bexley, Bromley and Greenwich. So not in Lewisham or Croydon at the moment, but I understand that that we'll see how it goes, and might want to extend it. But just to say that in Lambeth and Croydon, actually there are other mental health services that can help people, with this type of grief management.
Okay. Random question: do you have to be like known to services or clinically diagnosed or something like that to be able to use the services? Is this free for anyone to be able to use, or does there have to be
so at
some
the
kind
moment,
of background there?
It's healthcare professional referrals. So do be in contact with a healthcare professional, and that it could be a midwife, it could be a general practitioner, anybody that the person is in contact really to reach out and connect with that individual, and then they can make a referral into this service.
Okay, so you have to be referred. You can't like self-refer or anything like that. Okay. Do you have to be a new mum to use the service?
No,
or can you be...
so this covers anything from conception right up to the first year of life. So you don't have had your baby or lost a baby during, post birth. So it can, can be for women and birthing people who've had a stillbirth or a late miscarriage or anything like that.
Sorry, I wasn't smiling at what you said. I was smiling because I forgot to give a disclaimer in the beginning. My daughter's nursery is closed, so I'm obviously at home with my daughter, and she's just said, "Can I have some more food, please?" So it is very, very important. I'll have to put that down to the side for a minute, but I'm sure she's going to come in a little while. So yeah, apologies. And my next question is, do you have like childcare support within the services, or are you able to bring your child with you? Because I know for some people, childcare, so rightly, is a massive barrier as to why some people don't ask for help, or some people can't get help because if they're trying to go for services and there's nowhere to put their child, or they can't bring their child with them, that's a massive barrier, and it stops people from wanting to seek that support. Is that something that's been thought of? Is it incorporated?
I don't have the absolute detail on childcare, but what I would say in general, that most services would accept, coming along with their child. You're quite right to restrict services just to people who don't have dependents, and it might not just be a child, it might be somebody else that they have to bring. So we would always try to be flexible around that. So please don't let that put you off. If you need to access this service, we'll make it work.
I've got a comment in here that says it's a shame there can't be self-referral, as some things people are not aware of what is happening. Is there, obviously it's a brand new service, so you're going to see how well it plays out, who comes, you'll be doing your
evaluation.
What's the word? Evaluation, yes, and reporting on impact. If you see that those referrals from professionals aren't really happening, would there be a scope for it to be self-referred in the future? Because I think it's an amazing service.
That if we think about pregnancy care in general, around 10 years ago, you had to be referred by your GP or a healthcare professional. Now you can self-refer. So many services, as you've said, as we go forward and evaluate the impact, that and that we can see what difference it makes for people, that often more funding becomes available, and so therefore you know, access can be increased to people to self-refer. So the plan is to, let's see how it goes, as you said, and then build it up from there. And I think the other thing to say, of course, is that when you start a new service, you might not have an idea of how many people would like to use this, and therefore you've got to be able to plan your staffing and all of those. So I suppose the answer is, the more people who use it and actually find benefit from it, then the much more likely it is that it will become self-referral and a bigger service overall.
Okay. Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully you get that, because I think it's a very useful service that a lot of people can benefit from. Now, how long is the duration of the service? Would it be, is it dependent on the professional? What type of support is needed? Is it a set time?
Most mental health services actually are based on what the individual needs, and so very likely that you know, at that first visit there will be an assessment of what that person needs and a care plan put in around that. Some people, I'm aware, need just a short intervention, a short bit of support, whereas others need perhaps longer term care. So it's very much dependent on the individual.
I guess another question for me is, do you have to come every week? Is it like a weekly thing, a bi-weekly thing, once a month? Is that something you sort of figure out in the beginning as well, or
to be part of that initial care assessment? What do some people do need pretty intensive support, and the other thing about these types of services are that once that initial assessment has been made, it might be that the person needs access to a different type of service as well as this. So somebody really does need quite intensive support around mental health, that this service could give in isolation, that there'd be that link up. So that's the beauty of these types of services, that they don't work in isolation, they work alongside other services, so it can signpost to other things. And of course, there will be linked to other voluntary sector organisations, and perhaps if somebody needs something that's a bit more bespoke, a bit more individual, that they can be referred on or pointed in the direction of these types of services.
Okay. I'm seeing some of the questions pouring in the comments, which is amazing. So if you do have any questions about this new service, please do use the opportunity and ask them. It might sound again another basic question, but how long is the waiting time from when you get referred to, like, how long can people expect to wait? Obviously it's a new service and people might start snapping it up really quickly, but how long is the recommended wait time?
Like it's a brand new service, so we don't know what the demand is going to be like yet. I know that for like lots of services in health, that as soon as that demand picks up, the waiting time does creep up. But again, I think that's the other important bit about actually going via a healthcare professional, because if you need urgent help, there are other services available. So what I would say is, don't let waiting times put you off. If you need help, reach out for help, because will be sought. If you need it urgently, then it will be found urgently. So that's what I'd say in general. It will very much depend on the success of it, how quickly if demand is, how quickly we how quickly develop and expand those services. Oh, hello.
You're on the Instagram
Hi.
Live. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, can you go and watch some Peppa Pig? And I'll be with you in like 10 minutes. Yeah? I'll put some more in the air fryer for you, okay? Yeah. Good girl. Perfect. Thank you for answering that. A question here is, what type of service is it? Is it a mixture of CBT, medication, and trauma rewind, or is this for people who have had a history of mental health? Eden,
It's
please.
it can be individual or group so it can include partners or families, and again, as it will be individualized care depending on what the person needs. And there's also peer support available, so either in the community or directly with links to Helix, the service itself. And as I've said already, you know, working in partnership with other healthcare providers. So it's not a one size fits all. It very much about what that person needs. So the type of therapy will depend on the. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. And so I guess this the next question, you've pretty much already answered it, but in terms of how somebody signs up, that would be them going to their GP, going to their midwife, going to a health professional saying, I would like to be signed up to this service. Is there anything else that they could say in that conversation? Because it's such a new service, and what if people don't necessarily know about it? Is there like a website or something that they could refer to, or how would that conversation look like with somebody who really needed the help and wanted to go about
certainly
it?
will be ensuring that all GPs, all midwives understand how to refer into this service. Now, there is a website available for? Yeah, there is a website that we can post for you, so we can send that link to that website so that people can find out much more about this. But in terms of healthcare professionals being aware of this service, we will make sure that all our GPs have access, so that they know about the service, but also know how to refer somebody in. So it's a very simple electronic form that whoever's making the referral needs to fill in, and then whoever's being referred will get contact directly by the service.
Okay, perfect. Well, it seems pretty straightforward, and I'm really hoping that you reach exactly the people that you need to reach with this, because I think it's a brilliant service that's much needed, in the community, especially such a great time to be launching it as well, what with mental health week, maternal mental health week as well. So hopefully we can get the word out there and share it to whoever it needs to be shared. I've seen the link has been posted in the comments, but if that can be sent to us via DM.
Barbie.
Your Barbie. You need to look for your Barbie, darling, because she's not got her jacket on. Yeah, go and look for it. She might be cold. Benefits of multitasking there. So if we could get that link sent via our DM, so we can repost that on the stories afterwards, that would be really helpful. But yeah, if there are no more questions, thank you so much. I mean, unless there's anything else you wanted to say, and just wrap
all
up
I'd say
before we go.
Don't sit in isolation with this. Reach out, because we know that people do often sit with problems that they really can't deal with, and there is help available. So please do reach out. Okay.
That's brilliant. Yes, it's really important that we're having these conversations on these type of platforms. Nobody should be alone. Nobody should be in isolation, especially if they're dealing with mental health issues. It's definitely one of the topics that we touched on in our awareness week last last week actually, and the fact that it leads quite nicely onto the maternal mental health week as well. Nobody should be in isolation, and there is help out there. And we'll hopefully be doing a post where we just signpost and let you know what different things are available. But thank you. At least I know that the women in Southeast London, where I'm from, the best place in the world, have got this service. And hopefully, you know, it does well and we can get it out to more people. So yeah, thank you for that, and I hope it all goes well.
Take care.
No worries.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.